Perfect. We're officially live.
I'm so nervous.
We just gotta wait for people to get on. You're gonna do great. Mama G is the absolute best. I've learned so much from her.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Yes. You are just absolutely full of wisdom, and I'm excited for our followers to hear more from you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you used the word wisdom and not old.
Gena.
I love doing that. I love that.
Because I don't know what to say.
I love that.
Because you're beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. But I love this. I'm so glad we're seeing some people get on.
Yes.
We just wanted to have a little kitchen. We're drinking coffee right now too.
At 8:30 at night.
Yeah, but I love it. I love that we're the same in that. Yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and.
Okay, we'll see who's on.
Yeah.
We still have people jumping on. That's great.
Yay! Welcome everybody.
I would love if they would put where they're from.
Oh yeah,
if you can put where you're from.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
So we'll see how far we're going.
We'll call them out whenever we get.
Okay, my sister-in-law's on there. Hey, Joya.
Oh. We're gonna tell you all the things, Kelly, for sure. I'm just gonna go over really quick what we're gonna be covering tonight, so that you can get your expectations in order.
Please.
But we're gonna be talking about. So we had a reel go viral with Gena in it, where she was talking about this relationship attachment model.
Yes.
We'll get into that in a second. But we got a lot of comments on that, so we're gonna be going over the most common comments that we got.
Yes.
So there's 3 that we're definitely gonna cover. So the first one is, how do you know if you're sexually compatible with somebody if you don't have sex with them?
Okay.
And then the second one is
Money?
That's the third one.
That's
the third one is money.
Okay.
Yeah, which the order doesn't really matter.
Okay.
But the second one is, I'm actually going to read a comment that we got about how there's a lot of fear that when you start dating somebody that they'll just mask who they really are, and how do you see that?
Yep. How do you see through that? Okay.
Yeah. So before we get into all of that, let's introduce ourselves. So I'm Anna Reeves McCutcheon. I'm the social media manager for First Things First. And
I'm Gena Ellis. I'm the relationship coach here, one of the relationship coaches here at First Things First. A little bit about me. I have been working with families for the past 30 years. I have taught school. I have a master's degree in counseling psychology. I presently am a certified life coach, and I am working on my ICF certification presently.
Nice. Amazing.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yay. And did you already say that you're certified?
I'm a certified life coach, but I also am certified through Dr. John Van Epps' Love Thinks LLC curriculum, where he has a variety of curriculum for singles, marrieds, and families. This is one of my favorites. It is called PIC, but I love to call it How to Avoid Falling for a Jerk or a Jerkette, because guys, it's not always you. Sometimes it is us. And Dr. John Van Epp created this curriculum, and he has been a forerunner in the relationship education arena for years.
Yeah. So okay, amazing.
Thank
If you didn't see the video that went viral where Gena is talking about this chart.
I was not ready. I
I don't think anybody was, but I mean, I'm not surprised now because you are full of wisdom.
Thank you.
If you didn't see that video, you can tap the link in our bio to check it out. But Gena is going to go over what she talked about in the video really quick for those who haven't heard this.
You.
I just spilled my coffee too.
You're good. Quickly, this is a smaller version. When I would teach how to avoid falling for a jerk in person, every participant would get their own personal RAM chart. I suggested they put it on their refrigerator. You can get magnets and put on the back, so you can see the progress of your relationship.
Yeah. I'll show it up close, and unfortunately, it's backwards on our camera. But you don't really need to read it. Gena will just say it for you.
So what we have is the first bonding link is knowing someone. And to really get to know someone, it takes 3 T's: time, talk, and togetherness. And the main one for getting to know somebody is over time. You have to spend time with them. Then as you get to know somebody, then you work on trusting them, which is your mental picture that you have of them. I use the analogy of a broken chair, and that if you've ever sat in a broken chair, especially with everybody around you knowing that it was broken, and you sat in the chair, not only do you sometimes not trust chairs, you don't trust the people that are around you sometimes. But when you sit in the chair, that's showing that you rely on it. That's the action of your trust. Then there is commitment, then how you commit. And then the last but the funnest is touch. And spending time with physical touch can be, a lot of people like that in relationships. That is an important part of relationships, but going there first allows you to sometimes be in the love is blind arena, because you really don't know enough about that person sometimes to make honest, conscious, healthy decisions.
Yeah.
You just go in blind.
When Gena was first showing me this chart, she showed me something that I thought was just interesting. So will you show what friends of benefits looks like on the chart?
What I've been told, because when I used to teach this, I taught this for several years, and this is for what people, they thought friends with benefits was. You have a lot of touch. You know them because you are friends with them. You can rely on them and you can trust them. The catch is there's little to no commitment. That's the difference. Now, it is a little commitment because there may just be an agreement that that's what your relationship is. So there is some form of commitment, but it's not a clear relationship, or it's a relationship that you choose to be in. That's
right.
What friends with benefits looks like.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome.
And feel free to ask any questions as we are talking through things, and we'll do our best to answer them in the moment if we can. So, okay.
Good old friends with benefits.
Okay, so like I said, a lot of our comments that we got on the original video were saying things like, this chart is not sex positive. How do you know if you're sexually compatible with somebody that you don't have sex with? So go for it. What do you have to say to that?
I believe this chart can be and is sex positive because it really encourages people to have conversations about sex. A lot of times we go into sex with personal expectations and we never have a conversation with our partner. And I think sometimes that can lead to lack of compatibility because we haven't had a conversation about our agreements, what are my yeses, what are my non-negotiables, what you have to talk about sex to be sex positive. Just having sex, that's fun and that's great. I want you to have healthy, safe, and again, I'm from a generation having healthy, safe sex. And that requires at least knowing something about the person. Minimum name. I would encourage, if you are a person of age, that you know how old that other person is, because those kinds of conversations need to be had before you jump into a sexual relationship. This is not about not having sex. This is about being clear what your expectations, what your purpose, what you want out of this sexual relationship with someone else. It's not just, well, no, we take it off the table. No, you just have to be wise and, dare I say, safe when you're having that type of relationship. You have to know what you like, and again, being an advocate for yourself of what you don't like as well.
Yeah. And so when would you say that it is appropriate to start having that conversation?
I'm not opposed to having it from your first date. If that's what you want in your relationship, You have to have that conversation. You can't just think about it internally and not share it with the person you're getting ready to have sex with. You have to have a talk. I think sex is wonderful. I think it's beautiful. This is not to stop people, but it's just something for you to make clear, conscious, well-informed decisions before you choose to share your body with someone.
Yeah, that's really good.
I mean, it's just something for you to think about. It is a tool to utilize.
That's really good, Gina. Yeah. So, okay, let's go over the next one.
Okay.
And actually, I want to hop to, I saw a question come up.
Okay.
And the question was, can you have, and this is going back to the friends with benefits.
Okay.
Can you have friends with benefits without feelings involved?
Ah.
Yeah, good question, Kelly. I saw that.
That is a really good question. But it's back to that conversation. I think people can just remain friends with benefits. The catch is if one person does start not only having feelings but having expectations. It's back to sharing with that person that, you know, I'm starting to feel something and I know we had this agreement. Can we negotiate, or is this it? You have to be open and honest about what's going on inside of you. If you can't agree to friends with benefits and then change your mind. Mm-hmm. That's not fair to the person. That's breaking the agreement. But you may have to renegotiate the agreement, and if they don't want to renegotiate, that's a different choice you have to make. But yeah, some people do get feelings, or some people go into friends with benefits thinking that will turn into a relationship, and it might not. So just being honest about what you want. If you really want to be friends with benefits, say that. If you don't want to be friends with benefits, be upfront. You got to be honest. You can't go in thinking, well, I'll do all this stuff and then they'll change their mind about our agreement. That's not how it works, and that's not fair or honest with the other person.
It seems like it would be hard for it to not get messy.
Relationships and humans can be a little messy.
Yeah. And by that you mean a lot messy.
Yeah, a little bit lot. Yeah, tomato. But I do think if you are feeling it, you have to own what you feel and be honest and share it with the person you're in the relationship with. And that sometimes is hard because they will say, well, you were dishonest in the front end. No, you probably weren't dishonest in the front end. You just developed some attachment and some feelings about them that you didn't think you were gonna get. Right. So we change, we grow. Yeah. So doing that is really, you have to be honest and have conversations.
That's so good. Okay, I'm gonna read you a comment that we got on the original video. And again, if you were not on when I said this, the original video is linked at the link in our bio if you want to go check that out. So the comment is, it's a very good example, but still you can't tell if a person is showing their true self or they're just showing their good side to get to you. Because I'm pretty sure there are some jerks with very good level of patience too.
And there are some non-jerks that have a very good level of patience as well, because sometimes you just don't feel comfortable sharing all that has happened to you, things from your background, things from your family of origin, mistakes you may have made, and that person is correct. It does, and that's the hard thing about relationships. Dare I say, they take time. And even when you invest in time, those people they can wear masks a long time. They can cover up who they are, things that they've done. You never stop learning about a person that you're in the relationship with. And what I encourage is, as you start seeing signs, because a lot of times we will see those signs and we're like, no, that's not what that is. Or they'll say something like, oh no, they were just having a bad day. or it's just a bad moment or a bad month or a bad 3 months. Sometimes we don't pay attention to the signs. When it comes to developing a relationship, oftentimes we try to conform to what the other person may expect of us. When you're really dating and getting to know somebody, you absolutely have the right to see, do they fit with you, and not you conform to them, because there just may be some differences. I know when I started dating my husband, we will be married 30 years next February. I told him I liked a certain basketball team that I didn't like, just because. And when we first started dating, I absolutely kind of went along with whatever if he wanted to do, it's like whatever you want to do. And after we went back to college and started seeing each other on a more regular basis, he was like, who is this person that has an opinion? So
because you were more comfortable.
Yes,
you became comfortable.
You absolutely become more comfortable.
I saw somebody said representation versus actual self.
Yeah, I showed I showed him who I wanted him to think I was. My representative, absolutely. And it takes a while for people to get comfortable. And no disrespect to those of us who are older, when you're a little bit older and you're in the dating world, you can hold on to who you are a little bit longer, because you can play that role. I just encourage you to pay attention to the clues or things. Go out to dinner and ask the waiter to mess up the order.
That is interesting.
To see how that person reacts.
Wow.
You want to see how they treat other people. If you haven't met their family, or they work and you haven't met the people they work with, to me, this is really when your friends can play a vital part, when you're trying to figure out if this is a good person, if this person...
I need
ahead.
to say, I love that you're saying this, because we also get comments all the time, because I feel like this is kind of a controversial thing. How quickly do you introduce the person you're dating to your friends and your family? And a lot of people would say, not until I'm serious about them.
Yes.
Yeah. So
now I'm okay with not introducing family until you're a little sure, but your friends, I need my friends to check them out, because truth be told, when you first are interested in somebody, you really like them, and there are parts of your brain that literally shut off.
Okay.
You aren't using the frontal cortex. You aren't using that. You're really into la la land, and you're in love and all of this kind of stuff, or you're in like. And when you introduce them to your friends are really looking out for you. They really want what is best for you. They aren't looking through rose-colored glasses at this person. And I would have a group of friends that, I was on a friend's, what I call committee, that whenever she would start dating somebody, we live in Chattanooga, so if she was dating somebody, I would do the check. I would call people from Chattanooga and say, who do you know this person? What do you know about them? And I'm not saying I took it to be the honest truth, but it's something that made me think, okay, this is a person who's a person of their word. This is a person who has some things in their past, but they've changed and they're trying to do better. Not to discount them wholeheartedly, but just to investigate to see if they're really who they say they are. That's what friends and family sometimes are to do. They will help you slow down in the relationship, because some people go 0 to 90 in a relationship, and then they find out, oh, they're really separated. They're not really married. They're not divorced, because they told me they were divorced, but they're really still legally married. But you didn't know that. Find out there are certain things you should know: their name, something about their history, if they have a job, if they have kids. I'm not saying you need to be introduced to the children, but you need to know if they're a parent or not. Are they a caretaker for their parents? All of that kind of stuff. So taking your time to get to know about a person is really important.
Yeah. I feel like we could do a whole entire reel on just that.
Getting to know what you need to know about people?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what questions to ask and
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
And slowing it down because, well, that doesn't matter. That was then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, past behavior does sometimes show you how they're going to behave in the present. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Cool. I also saw, just to call attention to this.
Hey, Steve. That's my brother. He said my sister is in my committee, and she tells me, "Oh yeah, I am pretty honest.
I love that, but you need that.
I am honest,
Yeah.
and not just about the other person, about my friend as well.
That's good.
Because
and that's harder.
Oh,
to
it
be.
is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. I also saw Tamara commented a while back
Okay, hey, Tams.
how they talk to their mother is super important.
It is.
Okay.
It is. It really is. But we honestly have a time now that sometimes mothers aren't the best mothers. So I would include mothers, grandmothers, older sisters, or whoever that person was that raised them.
Okay. So glad you said that.
Because not all the time are mothers present.
Yeah. Yeah. It depends on the relationship.
Yep,
Yeah.
it absolutely does.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
But that is really good. How they engage with the women in their life. I like that term.
Yeah. Yeah. What would be like I guess for women, what would the guy look for that? Because I feel like it's easy for us to speak to, women.
Yeah, and I know this is a sticky wicket too.
Okay.
But understanding the relationship the person has with their male parent or grandparent or lack thereof.
Okay.
Because sometimes we long for what we did not have.
Okay.
And sometimes we try to find that in our dating and intimate relationships.
Going deep.
I'm just saying. Sometimes you have to be a whole, clear, mature person, knowing parts of yourself, being honest about yourself, your likes, your dislikes, your idiosyncrasies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. So, okay. Another comment we got is that, one comment we got was, it feels like there's a lot missing on the chart.
Yes.
And then one more specifically said, where does money fall
Okay.
into this? So
Okay.
if you want to answer both or if they go together.
What I think is these are broad topics. So for me, money can go under knowing. I need to know how you see money, how you value money, what you do with your money. I can know that. If we go out, and we've been going out for a while, and you never seem to have money to pay, that's something I need to put in my little mental Rolodex. I want to, and you have a good job, not judging, because you may have, expenses, but that's just something to check off the list. What or how do they use money? Or are they very thrifty with their money? But you can get to know that again over time. I'm not going to share with you my bank account on date one.
Right.
I remember a gentleman who was in one of my classes, and he had a black American Express card.
Okay. And this is, you said in college?
No, in class, when we were teaching
Gotcha.
relationship classes. And he would intentionally not bring that out because he didn't want people to be attracted to what he had as opposed to being attracted to who he was.
Okay, so I have to ask you how
Yes.
you found that out. That
He
had
shared.
that. Okay.
He shared. I was not an option. I'm happily married.
No, I know. I just was curious.
But for him, it was, I need to know that people see me. not the stuff I have. You know, even if you may have a Mercedes, Rolls Royce, Maybach in your garage, but you drive around in a Honda, how will people treat you when you're driving that type of car? All of that kind of stuff, to me, just takes time, and you can find that out as you spend time with people.
Okay, that makes sense.
So money is not specifically on here.
But it's under.
It is, but think about it. How you handle money. Do they pay their bills? That's a commitment issue.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
If you borrowed money from somebody and you don't pay it back, that's a trust and reliance issue. So you can use the same chart to kind of chart how money or any other thing that is, this is general enough that you can do it with a variety of things.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be specific things on here.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. Is there anything else that you would say is important to look at with the person that you're trying to get to know? Other than, so we talked money, we talked how they view sex. What else would be?
What they do with their free time.
Okay.
Because if you're going to get in a relationship with someone who is now a pickleballer, and I hear pickleballers love to be on the pickleball court.
Yeah.
And if they choose to play pickleball rather than choose to spend time with you, it would help that you know where their priorities are when it comes to how they use their time.
Yeah.
Whether they are, that could be the same thing with marathoners. When you run, you spend a lot of time running. And that can be hard if I want to spend time with you, but you've got to put in 20 miles today. So just what their priorities are, what their interests are, kind of who their friends are in general.
Yeah.
Just simple things like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I feel like that just helps to set the expectation of like the pace of the relationship.
Yes.
And yeah.
But again, being honest. And if this person does enjoy pickleball a whole lot and can't make time for you in that relationship, then you have some choices to make.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much. Do you have anything else? Oh wait, what? Let's see. That's awesome. Yeah.
That is cool.
This
Thank
model
you.
really is so incredibly helpful.
It is. And it is a tool. That's what I love about it. You can use it for a lot of things, but it's just one thing that you can use. It's not the end all be all.
We did get a comment asking if you can apply this to friendships.
Oh yes, absolutely,
Okay,
absolutely.
Cool. What about the touch?
That just goes off.
Okay.
That just goes off. I used to do one for friends.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Again, the way it's supposed to look, it's supposed to be where you know somebody more than you trust them, more than you rely on them, more than you're committed to them. I think a really uncomfortable friendship is that person who thinks you're their best friend and then they don't want you to have any other friends besides them.
What's that? So that's a lot of commitment.
From their perspective. This is an individual's perspective. From their perspective, you are the most important person to them, and they have high expectations of you that you may not see in them. So friendships, yeah, I like this for friendships because truth be told, trust is a big deal for me. And if I can't trust you, you really can't be my friend.
That makes sense.
If I want to go out and buy $1,000 pair of shoes, I don't need my friend to go out and tell everybody Gena went out and spent $1,000.
Right.
And I test people.
You do? How
I do.
So?
I'll give them information about me that's not really risky, but I'll share it. And then if I hear it back, I'll know they told it.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
I will test people.
I like these tests that you're talking about.
I will.
That's so interesting.
Because I can't be in a friendship with someone who I can't trust. Trust is so important to me.
Yeah. Let's see, this first says, do you think attachment styles impact people's tendencies to move faster / slower in some areas more than others? Okay. What do you think about that?
Oh, absolutely. Okay, I'm sorry. I see two. Tams, you are right. A friend of mine said it this way. Sometimes people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Ooh, that was good.
And sometimes those seasons are concurrent. Sometimes they are in your life to teach you something, and then it's time to move on. But similar to relationships, sometimes we hold on to friendships longer than we should because they are not they're not beneficial. Some people just, you've learned what you needed to learn with them, you've done the life you needed to do with them, and it's time for you to move on. And it's hard to end those friendships. But yeah, can we normalize? And that is hard because, it's interesting. I'm at an age where we are going back to class reunions that are double digits and multiple double digits now. And it is really cool to reconnect with people at our class reunions, but now we do have social media that makes it easier for relationships to last longer, but you get to decide what the level of commitment for that relationship is.
Yeah.
Can we just be friends that go out to coffee once a week and you have or once a month or once a quarter and we are fine, as opposed to those friends who are like, well, you never call me. You don't spend any time with me. It's like, you need people who understand what life is like.
Yeah. Man, that makes so much sense. I feel like that's just such an incredibly practical way of looking at it. And I think it's really easy to make that so messy in our heads. Because, like, emotions impact everything.
And sometimes you're walking different paths.
Yeah.
You're doing different things in life, and it's okay. You're not a bad person. I'm not a bad person. It's just our time together is up. And that is hard. We don't know how to end relationships well.
And I think that with friendships, we don't think that that's ever
supposed to end?
Yes. I think some people think that.
As somebody who has moved a whole lot, it is hard. It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort to keep a lot of friendships alive. It takes a lot of time. Yeah. And people have to understand, if you have children, significant others, dogs, cats, other work, hobbies, it's hard to keep all of those things going well at the same time. Yeah. Some things have to stop for a season.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you everybody who tuned in tonight. This was really fun, and I definitely want to do it again with Gena, because I just feel like we just scratched the top of the iceberg.
Did we finish all of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything else you wanted to say?
No. We do. If you are interested in the how to avoid falling for a jerk, there is a link in the what is it? There's a link.
If you tap the link in our bio, I got you. If you tap the link in our bio, we have the Amazon link to the book that explains the RAM in depth. Dr. John Van Epp. Let's see. Let me make sure that was all we wanted to say. Continue asking questions. Please DM us if you have anything else that you would want talked about. This is so sweet. I love seeing y'all's comments roll in. Yeah.
Oh, no, that's okay. But having a social life can be exhausting, especially if you're not the most social person.
Right.
But even if you are, sometimes we need our quiet moments too.
Right, for sure. So anyways, please continue asking questions. We'll definitely do another live soon. I love these late night kitchen talks with you, Gena. Mama G, that's what I call her.
Well, thank you all for joining. We had a great time. Hey, Lillian.
All right, y'all have a great night and cheers, Gena.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.